Today, he will be introducing us to the concept of ownership from his book, 5 Things I Learned on the Road to the Dream. Please welcome Gower D. Talley.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gower.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. You know, for many people, there are 2 emotionally acceptable outcomes to any situation that they might find themselves in. Now, the first of these emotionally acceptable outcomes is, well, obviously, success. I mean, you try to do something, you succeed at doing that thing, and, well, that's good. And of course it is good. But for all too many of us, there is a second, almost equally viable outcome, and that is plausible external blame for failure. There are people who will actually go out there and seek option 2 first. There are folks that will go out and look for reasons that a potential failure won't be their fault before they try to find ways to actually succeed. Now, I have been in some heated discussions over this topic. There are people who find it necessary to prove to me that their situation is unique. There are people who would like to tell me that they have been dealt a permanently losing hand. Well, folks, I never seek to debate the specifics of anybody's individual circumstances. I mean, there are people who have been given great challenges, and there are also people who have seen molehills or see mountains where they in fact have molehills. I don't ever try to tell which is which because, folks, frankly, it's not the point. Whether a challenge becomes a permanent barrier to one's success is almost always a matter of choice. People who choose to see their challenges as permanent barriers to success want to see those barriers. They want to tell other people about those barriers, and they want, if not need, people to agree with them. Why, yes, it's not reasonable to expect any sort of success from you. Why, you have this barrier, you poor thing. It helps them to silence that tiny little courageous voice inside that whispers, hey, maybe, just maybe, you should get up and go for it one more time. Because the truth, of course, is that our challenges are extremely rarely permanent barriers to our success. And perhaps most importantly, it is never useful to see our challenges as permanent barriers to success. Some of the most amazing people it has ever been my privilege to work with have tremendous challenges that they were not at all a part of creating. Now, while these challenges did in fact limit one line of their choices, they were not seen as barriers. These amazing people accepted their challenge, much in the same way that you and I might accept gravity every day. And they reasserted ownership over their life within this new challenge in their very next breath. The key to making the ownership choice is just to decide to abandon acceptable outcome number 2. Do not let yourself believe that failure is your lot in life, that it's permanently acceptable. And recognize that external blame is almost always false and absolutely always useless. Now, I'm probably going to cost myself any credibility I might have in this room right now, because I'm going to quote that wise and ancient philosopher, Yoda. Yep. I mean, Yoda from Star Wars. You guys remember this. This is from the second of the original movies. Luke Skywalker's trucking around the swamp planet, right? And he's got Yoda in one of those big old baby backpack carriers, and they come across Luke's speeder mired in the mud. Well, Yoda tells Luke that he should lift up the speeder using the power of the Force. Well, Luke looks at Yoda and says, okay, I'll try. Well, Yoda looks down at Luke and raises an eyebrow. I'm pretty sure Yoda has eyebrows. Yoda raises an eyebrow and says, do or do not. There is no try. I thought that statement was profound. I mean, it clearly encapsulated an entire philosophy in 8 words. But you know, the statement that it might be more important that you and I understand is Luke's. Because when Luke said, I'll try, I believe he meant the same thing we all mean when we use those words. I believe there's an almost universal definition of that phrase, and it goes something like this. I'll try. The task before me is difficult. Or maybe it's just inconvenient. In either event, I am not prepared to expend the effort and focus necessary to ensure my success. So what I'm going to do is expend a half-hearted effort, an effort I believe in advance to be inadequate to the task. Then I'm going to hope that random chance jumps in and dumps something in my lap that, when combined with my inadequate attempt, brings success to me anyway, and I'll let you know how that works out for me. Folks, those who try hope for luck. Those who decide to succeed, succeed. Those who choose to win, win. This is almost always true. Your total commitment and total effort will come up against opposing total commitment so infrequently that it's almost not even worth discussing. Perhaps total commitment comes up against opposing total commitment in extremely high-level sporting events, I don't know, like the Olympic Games. But even there, not everybody in the starting blocks to the 100-yard dash has decided to win. Even there, people who fail to win can probably point to some effort unexpended, either in the execution of the race or in preparation. There's a saying in football: bring it all to the field. Don't leave any of it in the locker room. Well, bringing it all to the field is so unbelievably rare in real life that if you actually decide to do it, if you don't decide to try, if you decide to do what is necessary to succeed, you will. Thank you very much.